Talk about next is what we're going to do here at SAU with Stream Team. So this is something that, and I know there are a lot of students who have been asking me, when can we get involved? And and then now that we have some startup money, we can get people in the waiters and out in the streams. And so he talked about the three main areas that Stream Team focuses on: advocacy, education, and stewardship. So what I'd like to do with Stream Team here in SAU is apply these to some of these the high schools and local areas where we can educate people about macroinvertebrates, about these mussels that are imperiled, about watershed management. Um, Whether or not they're going to be in this science-related field, that doesn't matter to me. I mean, obviously, as a biology professor here, I'd love to have more and more people in our department, but I really want to make sure that we're all educated about the impacts we have when we vote on certain things that are going to affect these watersheds. These are limited resources, and as Ben said, now that we're in an altered environment, it's going to be very difficult for us to try to bring it back to a healthy state, but if we can manage and mitigate a lot of these impacts, I think we'll be much better off. Then there's the advocacy. So at that point, especially working with Dorchi, if we can develop enough baseline information and data to maybe advocate that there needs to be money appropriated for more restoration in this area, or just a better management approach, I think that would be great. And that goes all the way through the policy from local to state governments to federal governments. And then stewardship, so getting out there, cleaning up, getting others involved. This is actually, when I was in Stream Team as an undergraduate, if you can't pick me out of the line up here, I'm the one that has to carry everything. And that was with UAM, but I don't want to do it with UAM. I want to do it with SAU, and I want to do it with the Magnolia community. So that's where we're heading. And so the goals are fulfilling these ideas, or the mission of Stream Team, essentially, conducting some preliminary biological surveys. As Ben said, we really don't know a whole lot of what's out there in this particular watershed. So how do you find out? You go out there, you collect, you start identifying organisms. If you can't identify them, you send them to experts that are happily ready to do so. We also want to utilize the Natural Resources Research Center, which is here just behind the science building. Beautiful new facility, and get integrated with them and Dr. Giagini, who's the director, in looking at water quality monitoring, her and her students, getting them involved in water quality monitoring, because again, a lot of these streams that are in our area flow into Dorchi, so it's a prime watershed for us to study at various locations in order to understand what sort of impacts we're having on water quality. And with the preliminary data that we can get from looking at the biota, or the living organisms, and the water quality and water chemistry, we can start to try to help establish some long-term monitoring protocols and work with agencies such as Game and Fish, Department of Environmental Quality. And so in order to do this, that involves you, that involves the community. So be sure and tell everybody that you think would be interested. I know I have a lot of responses via email, but people couldn't make it because of short notice, but I just want to generate interest and publicity right now so that we can get as many people out there as possible. And that way we can ensure that we're going to preserve the beauty of our watersheds. And so they'll be around for our kids and our kids' kids, everything else. And Grandpa's cabin won't wash off into the stream because of some stream management projects. And so some of you who aren't familiar with Dorchi, it's just west of town, and it goes all the way, and that's what we're looking at here, it goes all the way into the Red River. It contains the streams, the watershed itself contains the streams that comprise Lake Columbia, and the ones that we see here. And this isn't actually Dorchi here, this is another watershed that I was actively involved in when I was on Stream Team at UAM, in Monticello, but I thought that it's neat just to see kind of the things that you might be doing, going out canoeing, picking up trash. And so when you do that, and after doing something good, I think the fish sit down and eat some good food as well. Going out and seining, so this would be another activity, seining up fish and other organisms that are large enough that they don't fall through the holes in the net, and then we can see not only what type of organisms we have there, but if we want to do some chemical analyses, we can see, okay, what are the accumulation of heavy metals? Where are those heavy metals coming from? What sort of impact are they going to have on the food web and the ecosystem, short-term and long-term? And then we also see things like this, which you would think, okay, well, what in the world is this? Does anybody know?
Brain plankton?
Brain plankton? Is that a guess, or?
That's what I was told it was called.
I mean, that's what it looks like, right? That's a colonial organism. That's a freshwater bryozoa. This is something we came across whenever I was in Stream Team. And at first look, you think, what? It looks like something out of a sci-fi movie. It's actually many single-celled organisms joined together in a freshwater bryozoa. And then you see the heldermites. This is actually a picture that my dad took that has a garter and a heldermite in a little photo frame type deal that you can set up. And again, these are some important organisms. You always think bass, crappie, etc. But in order for those species to be successful, we have to make sure we establish the ecology of other organisms. And then one of my favorites are the mayflies, which are aquatic insects. If you've ever gone out in the summer and your car just gets bombarded by these because of the lights, those are the adult forms that only have a very short time in their terrestrial form, and this is the larva. So that's another picture of some local mayflies that we collected. And there are the adults there. And these are indicators of good water quality in general. And so we want to make sure that our streams keep these guys and they don't get the things like the black flies and some of the other midges that are indicators of pollution and poor water quality. And then here's the big one. So looking at dorcheat, there's a particular mussel that ranks pretty high on the imperiled list and could also be considered federally endangered because it's only being collected in Arkansas from Dorcheat Bayou and only from Columbia County. And so this is the only record of this. So the idea is that it's most likely been extirpated from the area, meaning that it's gone locally extinct. And it's likely that, and I have to look at some Louisiana records to see if they've actually collected this mussel species as well. Mussels are very, very sensitive to disturbances in streams and pollution. Part of the reason is they're filter feeders. They pull particulates or organic matter from the water, and that's what they use as food. Well, because of introduction of invasive species such as zebra mussels, because of alteration of stream habitats and flow and other impacts, these sensitive species are disappearing. So this is sort of our first red flag that we should pay attention to. And the fact that this one there hasn't been a confirmed record since this was collected means that we need to do something quickly. So that's another reason why I picked that particular watershed. So I would like to thank these people. Again, this is sort of an initiative that we're just getting going. And of course, Mr. Tessing here and Arkansas Game and Fish Commission, everybody here at SAU has been extremely supportive of that. And I know Steve Oakes couldn't make it today, but he kayaks and floats Dorcheat all the time. So he's going to be really helpful in the future and has offered a lot of his resources. And so here's the deal: is who's going to join us? I don't want to be with the UAM people, so I've even covered up my Weevil shirt. Now that I'm faculty here at SAU, I want to get this community involved. So there's a sheet going around that has a place where you put your name and email. Again, if you can tell people about what we're trying to start here, it'd be fantastic. The more people we get, that'd be great. And so if you have any questions, I'm not familiar with Dorcheat myself. I've only driven past it, so if you know of anything about it, or if you know some people who would be great contacts that would direct us into some areas that may be more impaired or affected than others that we can start looking at, I think that would be very useful for us. So with that, I thank you for coming out. And again, if you have any questions or want to talk to